What's up, MONEYBAGZ family? If you found this video, it's because you need to act like you know. And as always, it's your girl Mo. So let's go. We're gonna get into the downloads I got and then the message, as always. 9394 could be significant. 1818. I was seeing 555 in my head, and it was on my oven before I started. You could have hip pain on your right side, a sprained ankle, or a fractured hand or finger. Or like gems could be falling off of your nails, or you could be about to get your nails done, or there's a lot of self-care, eyelashes, you could be getting your eyebrows done or even your hair done, car issues, your brakes, check engine light, or the low tire light could be on. The name's Stephanie. Someone has a daughter in preschool, and being an ex-Catholic or Christian, or just being someone who has removed themselves from religion, period, recently, could be significant. This specific channel doesn't really have to do with men in particular. Sorry to the MONEYBAGZ men. But this has to do with women, and it has to do with how we have coded trauma that's been passed down for like ever. I'm talking about your mother, your grandmother, great-grandmother, great-great-grandmother. Like there's I'm seeing like a lineage of family, like a family tree. And we can't begin to understand how much unrepressed trauma and shame and grief that we have inside of us because of our inability to break out of our coded trauma. Like it's in our DNA, it's embedded in our DNA. A lot of you women have to start getting comfortable saying the hard truths out loud. Even men, even men, you guys have to get comfortable doing the uncomfortable and saying the uncomfortable truths out loud. For my women, saying things like, sometimes, you know what, I don't want to be like my mom. For my men, I don't want to be like my dad. And really acknowledging that 222 on the clock, a lot of grandmother energy, really acknowledging the truth. The truth will resurrect you, but you have to be comfortable living in that discomfort, because sometimes the truth is really painful and hard to face. Saying the uncomfortable things, freeing yourself. Like sometimes I don't want to be a mom. My kids, sometimes I regret the fact that I even had kids. Saying things like, I hate the fact that I'm stuck, or I feel trapped in a life that I created for myself. You have to get comfortable telling the truth about how you really feel, because a lot of you guys are stuck in these cycles, these shame and grief cycles, because you're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself, and you're trying to convince yourself that you feel something other than what it is that you're actually feeling, and that's only creating more shame. It's only creating more of what you don't want to experience. I have released so much shame. I have not even released, but integrated so much shame from my childhood, from being someone who used to be like so hypersexual when I was younger, so utterly, like as a child. And I look back and I'm like, I don't even remember half of my childhood. Like I remember all the things I don't want to remember. And even me like talking about this, like that's a part of my story. It's a part of my story. But I'm so far removed. I've transcended that old identity that it's like I don't carry the shame that she used to carry. Not wanting to speak about my past, not wanting to speak about the things that have quite literally made me who I am today, because I was shameful about it. Very shameful. And shame is so heavy. We talked about that yesterday. Shame is so heavy. And I remember, I'm even making videos. I'm like, I feel like, I got this pain in my chest. It's this heaviness in my chest that won't go away. Please, someone like, if you've experienced this, what is it? And it's like, girl, you need to really process and say the uncomfortable truths out loud. You need to really look at yourself in the mirror and accept what you've been denying. Accept what you've been denying. And that's what I did. I accepted what I was denying. I was denying myself the opportunity to tell the truth about how I really felt, about myself, about how I betrayed myself so many times in my youth and as a young adult. Like, I'm still a young adult, I'm 24, but like the person who I was 3 years ago, I'm nothing like that. Nothing. It's because I've evolved, I've grown. But we have to take into account what we had to do, who we had to be in order to evolve into the person that we are today. And you can never move forward if you don't integrate the past and feel what it is that you're running from. You got to feel it. You have to feel it. You got to reintroduce yourself to the parts that you have suppressed and buried deep under your people-pleasing tendencies. You got a fire to you. You got light to you. You got a spark. You a crazy chick. You crazy dude. But there's so much shame that you carry with that version of yourself that it's like you don't even give yourself the opportunity to break free and just like let loose. For my men, society wants y'all to be so uptight and so stoic all the time. And it's like, dude, let loose, let free. Give yourself the opportunity to reintroduce yourself to the older parts of you. The parts that you left behind because your people-pleasing tendencies couldn't carry them with it. There's a lot of rage that's in this collective that you need to purge out. Rage, deep rage from your root. It's buried deep and it's sacred. And it's sacred because it's been repressed from all of your ancestors. That's why it's so sacred. You're the chosen one. You've been chosen to feel not only the pain, but the rage from all of the women in your bloodline who couldn't speak up, who got married even though they didn't want to, who had kids even though they didn't want to, who weren't able to have the life that you have today. You got to release that rage and let it out and give yourself permission to do so. Transmute it, release it. You got to feel it. And saying no is your birthright. This is for men and women. Saying no is your birthright and it's not rebellious. Nothing about saying no is rebellious. Nothing. You've just been conditioned. You've been mimicking the women in your family, maybe even the men in your family who have said yes to everything and everyone, even when they didn't have it, even when they didn't want to. You mimic that behavior. Because it's encoded in you. The trauma is encoded in you. Always saying yes is a trauma response. And a lot of you guys are carrying trauma that isn't yours. But you have been chosen to be the one to feel it. To break free. You're the one who wants to break free. I'm seeing a caged bird literally bust out. You are the one that's been chosen to break free. To my woman, your womb is a gateway. It's cosmic energy that rests inside of you. A lot of people have weaponized your sexuality against you, and even you could feel pure shame for your sexuality. Like me, I was someone who for a really long time felt so much shame about the choices I made as a child, looking back, as a little girl. Because I was just searching for love. I just wanted to be seen. I just wanted to be chosen. Even to this day, I don't even know why. My grandmother died when I was really young, so maybe I think that definitely had a part in it. And there's also I can't be 110% sure, but I do think something happened to me when I was little that I just don't have any memory of. I took an edible once, and this was back in 2020. And I only told my mom about this. I took an edible and I was with my ex, and I had no idea of spiritual powers, gifts, anything. And I saw this vision. I was in my aunt's house and I was a little girl, and my uncle was touching on me and he was kissing on me, and it was the weirdest thing ever. Trigger warning, sorry, I should have said that before. And my brain just kept repeating his name, and everything felt so familiar. And I was visibly uncomfortable to the point where my ex was are you good? You good? And I was yeah, the weirdest thing just happened. And that was my favorite uncle when I was little, until one day he just wasn't. And there's a lot of things about that man that I hate being called woman, like being directly, woman, come here, woman, get this, like because of him. Like when I was a young girl, like 10, 11, he would be like, woman, refer to me as woman, come here. And it was just like this thing that stuck with me, you know, and even that was something that like I've carried with me up until recently. I've carried so much shame about like just being sexual as a woman. But I've carried a lot of shame being sexual as a young woman as well. But you have to let it go. You have to give yourself grace for the mistakes that you made and for the ways that you betrayed yourself, even when you don't even know why you did. 10:44 on the clock. The mistakes that you made have shaped you into this woman, into this man that you are today. So you have to give yourself grace. You have to feel all of those deeply embedded emotions that keep you from, I'll just spit, sorry. But you have to feel those deeply embedded emotions that keep you from really being who you know you're meant to be. I feel so much better, 11:11 on the clock. Like, yo, I feel great. I feel great. I can confidently say for the first time in forever, there is no heaviness over my chest, and it hasn't come back. Usually it comes back and it goes away. It hasn't come back. And I'm telling you what I did. I felt that shame. I felt that deep shame from my childhood, from that little girl. I felt that shame. And it's made all the difference. It's made all the difference because I know now that I don't have to, be anything I don't want to be. I don't have to be anyone I don't want to be or do anything I don't want to do in order to get approval, or just to receive love, or just to be chosen. You don't have to do that. I'm a woman, you're a woman. We have been chosen by God to create life. You have a cosmic universe that is alive inside of you. And the patriarchy teaches us to weaponize that against men. Like it's some form of, it's like, we're not even seen as the divine beings that we are, yet for some reason we like bow down to the patriarchy and its constructs, and it's like, it's done. We're done with that. Break out of it. Wake up. Wake up. People will continue to weaponize love and attention against you because you don't know your worth. When you know your worth, it's really hard for people to weaponize anything against you. You know your worth, you know what you're worth, and you know what you're not going to settle for. You have to begin to say the hard, uncomfortable truths out loud. I've settled for this, even though I didn't want to, even though I don't know why I did, but I did. I've settled. I've accepted less than what I know I deserve. I did. I have. Say the uncomfortable truths out loud so your subconscious knows that it's safe to tell the truth about how you really feel. Because if you keep lying to yourself, your subconscious is going to continue to carry that shame because you're lying to yourself. Why are you lying to yourself? The world has already lied to you about your power and who you are. Why continue to lie to yourself about how you feel? How you really feel is the activation point for your power to truly come out. This world, this patriarchy fears us women being outspoken, being grounded in our worth, asking for more, not settling, saying no. They fear that. And it's time for us to wake up. You could have been called irrational. Your emotions are irrational. You're irrational. Is it irrational or is it intuition? Our intuition is older than religion. And they have still tried to convince us that our religion is our intuition is something that is like woo-woo. Our intuition is just like yeah, right, she crazy. No. Our intuition is older than the religion that you pray to. Our intuition, your intuition is what makes this world go round. Don't you understand? Us as women, we are sacred. The eye of the storm is what we are. We are the eye of the storm. We are the words that can start and end the war. You are the prayer and the mysticism that answers it. You are all and then some. One of one cannot be replaced, duplicated, or destroyed. 1444 on this clock. You don't need to be fixed. You need to be freed. The life that you're living right now is optional. You don't have to mimic your mom, your grandmother. You don't have to continue to mimic out their wounds. You don't have to continue to be a martyr in this game of life. You don't have to continue to be a martyr for beliefs that you don't even stand for. It's time to be freed. All the women who came before you died empty. They lived an empty life. But it was so heavy. It was so filled with shame and grief and resentment and guilt. Be the one that frees yourself from your own burdens and their burdens. Be the one to free yourself. You don't need fixing. You need to be freed. You need to free all of that, all of the emotions that you've repressed for years. You know how long I've repressed that shame that was backed by like my sexuality? Going on like 12, 13 years, over a decade, I carried that shame and just kept adding on to it and adding on to it and adding on to it until finally I had to sit with it, feel how uncomfortable it felt, and breathe and look at it from a neutral standpoint and tap into its polarity, which is love, recognition, fascination, and move forward. And it's made all the difference. It's made all the difference. It's optional to continue to suffer the way some of you guys do. It's optional. It's optional. Free yourself from your own burdens. Free yourself. Free yourself. Share your voice. Come out the cave. Persecution. Expression. Expression. Telling y'all. Expression. Even look. This grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying the foundations, divine plan. This is your ancestors speaking through to me right now, telling you to free yourself in their name. In their name. Deep replenishment. Retreat, rest, and be held. You've been holding people your whole life. When are you going to be the one who takes a break? When are you going to be the one who takes a break? You probably found this video because you're tired. You're tired. Yes, right here. You're tired. You're tired. Relinquish all that you thought you knew once. Release it all to the divine. Release it. And you can't release it until you feel it. These feelings and these messages are coming out through me, so those emotions and feelings can come up through you. They want to come up right now. They're coming up so they can come out. Free yourself. Free your bloodline. Protection. Call back your power. Cut the cords. There's a lot of y'all that keep people around, a lot of women specifically that keep men around, knowing damn well they don't do nothing to benefit you. They don't do nothing to uplift you. They're just there. They're just anchoring your energy, stabilizing your energy. Choose you. When are you going to choose you? Choose you. The life that you're living right now is optional, especially when it comes to feeling that shame and carrying that pain. It's optional. You don't have to continue to do that. It's optional. It's so optional. Break the chain. Ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. You rewrite the future, your ancestors' future, by healing your own pain. Because when you heal your own pain, you heal theirs. Act like you know that this is your show. What lights you up? Starseed Collective. Final card for confirmation. Longing for home. Again, belonging. You don't feel like you've ever belonged. You floating in the wind because you're not even operating from your true frequency, which is authenticity, which is rooted in you saying no. It's your birthright. It's rooted in you being that little crazy chick that you want to be, the little wild one, the one that speaks her mind, that's unapologetically her, that's outspoken, that isn't afraid to tell the truth. You're the truth. Act like you know. Priestess, how are you being called to step up and lead? Like I told y'all, a lot of y'all are leaders, natural born leaders, but you've been conditioned to mimic your mothers, your grandmothers, the ones who followed the crowd instead of led it. This is your initiation right now. You're crossing the threshold. This video is your initiation. Act like you know that this is your show. It's your girl Mo, so let's go. I'm about to head to Boston in a few. We already know how that's gonna go. Timeline shifting. We're timeline shifting all weekend. Comment your stories. Let me know if this resonated for you. If you wanna book a one-on-one reading with me, the link is always in the description below. And if you wanna check out any one of my custom guides, Mogul's Method, Mogul's Mini Method, which is a free download, and the Viral Mindset Method, they're all in the description below. I love you. This is your show. Act like you know. Free your soul. You don't need to be fixed. You need to be freed. Free yourself. I love you. Be safe.